Alright, so this title's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to try to point out the differences between this machine, which is a deluxe, and a base model, and the higher end models like the Trail. And I do a walk around of a Trail that was at the dealership at the end.
So, base model versus deluxe. So it was like a $1,600 upcharge to get a deluxe. I didn't want it, but I ended up with it because I was tired of waiting. And this is what they got in stock first. So what do you get on the deluxe? Well, one thing the salesman pointed out to me I wasn't aware of is that you get these plastic covers. So these are just plastic covers that go on top of the regular door, and they're held on with these little plastic clips. And as you can see again, all of these clips don't fit very good, Honda, because you drilled the holes too big, jackasses. So that's gonna rattle and just be generally obnoxious. So we're gonna go ahead and take this off right now because that doesn't look bad. And this is just a piece of plastic that's just gonna rattle and make noise. What were you guys smoking? I got that door skin cover as part of the Deluxe package. You get this big cubby down here, which by the way, you can also buy online from Rough Country. All this storage down here is part of the Deluxe package, and these nets, so the stuff doesn't fall out of them. A little double net there, maybe stick your phone in there. And then you got some nets back there. And you got these 3 switches, which I have no idea what they do. I think they're just accessory switches. So I paid a lot of money for 3 switches in that. Okay, what else do you get? The Deluxe package gives you these alloy wheels. The base model has steel wheels, same tires. One nice thing the salesman pointed out, he was pretty good, very knowledgeable, is that these are 14-inch wheels. So unlike the Talon, which gives you 15s, and a lot of other stock wheels that are 12s, you could throw some good big tires on these wheels because they're 14s. It's a common wheel size, so we appreciate that. Okay, so let's go over it again. What did the Deluxe package get you? It got you aluminum wheels. It got you plastic door skins that don't fit very well. So another thing the Deluxe package has on it is these adjustable clickers on the bottom shocks. So that tells me the shock is different. I don't know if the spring rate or the dampening is different, but it does give you preload adjustment on the Deluxe, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, otherwise, it's the exact same buggy as the base model with just some stick-ons. So I'm not a big fan of this package, as you can see. Let's see if this door fits as bad. This one fits a little tighter, but they still drilled the holes too big. Not as bad. This side's not as bad as that side. So I got some pieces of plastic now. If I were you, I'd buy the base model. It has these little side covers back here on both sides of the bed. I don't know what they were thinking, but this doesn't fit very well. You see how loose that, it's like they drilled the hole too big for that pop. You see how that just popped out? And you push it back in too, so that's not very premium. They drilled the hole too big for those pop rivets. You can see some more kind of stuff like that over here with this thing. That just popped right out, right? I mean, those pop rivets are great, but if you drill the hole that big, it's not gonna work very good. So just a few fit and finish issues like that I've noticed with the plastics that don't feel super premium.
Alright, so here's a little walk around of the Trail. What's different about this one is primarily the shocks and the i4-wheel drive, and it has a factory winch. The shocks are Fox, which is great, but they're the same travel. The i4-wheel drive is a Talon system, so you're giving up your front locker. It's more user-friendly for idiots, basically. I wouldn't recommend buying this. Overpriced, and the suspension's not that much better, and you lose your front diff lock. One thing to point out is both this Trail and my Deluxe have a second cigarette lighter in the rear. This one also has some factory lights wired in. Mostly gimmicky stuff. Same wheels as mine, but they're polished, so whatever. But I'm not a big fan of this thing. If you want i4-wheel drive, you should definitely be buying a Talon. Better suspension. Duh.
I'm going to try to do some crazy stuff to this to make the suspension better. Honda suspension on this is pretty subpar compared to like an R-Max. But then again, it would be, right? Because Honda has the Talon, which is the same exact thing with better suspension. So why would they put good suspension on this, right? They want to differentiate their products. Well, the reason I want good suspension on this, and I don't just have a Talon, because I already had 2 Talons, so I'm bored of that. Also, no Talon will ever have a front selectable locking differential. I love lockers, right? Diff lock engage, you hear me say it all the time. Also, no Talon will ever have a bed this big. So for those reasons, I want to make a Pioneer that rides good, kind of like the R-Max I had in Moab. What the heck, Honda?